As deadline closes, players are seeking a salary cap of $10 million, 30% of league revenue.
It's not only outside noise or opinion that's frustrating you. It comes from the top and shows how bad the issue has gotten.
What we're asking for is not sustainable for the business, Nafisa Collier said during an Unrivaled broadcast Monday.
According to reports, Adam Silver has reached his breaking point in the WNBA's collective bargaining talks. Additionally, the league is facing a problem for the first time in years that it might not be able to resolve through dialogue.
I know what it takes to run a sustainable business. Yeah, but you ain't had this business for 30 damn years.
The league is currently about 48 hours away from a possible lockout. Furthermore, the difference between what the players want and what the league can pay is not small nor negotiable. The entire 2025 season could be shut off before it even starts due to this financial canyon.
There is a way. We're thriving in it. Y'all thriving in it. Your league only been around for 2 years.
On January 2nd, 2025, Front Office Sports verified reports that
No, we don't even know if they even made a profit. Just last year when Caitlin Clark came, they was at a $24 million loss. Do we all forget it?
The WNBA Players Association proposed raising the pay cap from about $1.5 million per team to more than $10.5 million and requesting 30% of the league's overall revenue.
That's probably what's going to happen on the 9th, probably late January 9th. No more extensions. It's going to be a strike that will be forced by the union.
That's not a little change. The league's economic model has been completely reorganized. The league's reaction was direct and prompt. According to internal calculations, accepting those terms would result in cumulative losses of almost $700 million over the course of the proposed agreement. Not lesser profits, not slower growth, but real losses. The kind of losses that drive teams into bankruptcy and drive owners away.
Adam Silver is frustrated as hell. Like, why we can't get this deal done? Like, now that they're asking for down there half of the revenue.
Because both parties are talking from essentially distinct realities, the discussion becomes awkward at this point. The players cite private investments and unparalleled international contracts as evidence that money exists and owners are concealing it. The league is citing audited financial documents that present an entirely different picture. This is the section that cannot be disregarded. Adam Silver is quite irritated. For example, why can't we close this deal? Not that they're requesting anything like half of the earnings. For 28 years running, the NBA has provided subsidies to the WNBA. That isn't conjecture.
Like, how are we going to give you half when we don't even have half to give? They don't even have half to give.
That is a fact that has been proven. According to reports, the league lost almost $40 million in 2023. Despite record-breaking attendance and ratings in 2024 due to the so-called Caitlin Clark effect, the league ended up losing almost $24 million. The context is important. The players' desire for more money is understandable. The WNBA is negotiating as though the revenue already exists at scale when the financial reality is that it does not, despite the fact that salaries have been too low for far too long. This negotiation has become a standoff rather than a settlement because of that distance. Since here is where the public narrative frequently falls down, let's now discuss what the league actually offered. The WNBA suggested in early December that players receive 70% of net league earnings. The players wanted net revenue, not gross income. Sources acquainted with the negotiations claim that, based on current estimates, that would be equivalent to about 15% of overall league revenue. A pay cap rise from roughly $1.5 million to up to $5 million per team, with maximum salaries exceeding $1.3 million and average compensation exceeding $500,000 throughout the course of the deal, was another feature of the plan. That means that the current pay cap has been more than tripled. That is hardly a symbolic offer for a league that has never made money. That is a significant financial investment. However, because the structure was based on net revenue rather than gross, the players rejected it. Billion a year. There are billions of dollars left over to pay for costs, reinvest in the product, and make money for owners even after players receive around half of basketball-related revenue. Because the scale absorbs the expense, the system functions. That is not the world in which the WNBA operates. In 2024, the league's total income was anticipated to be $200 million. Before a single expense is paid, about $60 million or 30% of that total is subtracted. That leaves roughly $140 million to pay for arena leases in various regions, travel for teams and leagues, front desk employees, coaching pay, broadcast production, marketing, insurance, and day-to-day operations for 12 teams. It's not theoretical issue. It's a useful one. And keep in mind that the league lost about $24 million last year even with the existing setup and no gross revenue sharing. With record ratings, sold-out arenas, and unheard-of media coverage, that defeat happened during the most prosperous season in league history. Under pressure, the math is unyielding. It shatters. This explains why, according to reports, Adam Silver's dissatisfaction has become so apparent behind the scenes. He thought a deal was effectively completed in early December, according to several sources. As far as the league was concerned, they had already gone farther than they had ever gone. They adopted revenue sharing for the first time in the WNBA and increased the salary cap, history, and established a direct route to maximum earnings of 7 figures. According to reports, Silver anticipated a counterproposal that concentrated on specifics, timing, phase-ins, and modifications that represent long-term growth objectives. Rather, the players returned with a demand for 30% of gross revenue, which the league believes is now unfeasible financially. Silver was compelled by such remark to return to what he thought were almost finished discussions. He is currently in a race against time, with a deadline that could lead to a strike or a lockout. The momentum created by the league's most successful season ever might be destroyed by either result. That is the section that all WNBA fans ought to focus on. This is no longer merely a debate about figures. The league's future course is now being determined in real time. It will also be difficult to reopen some doors once they have closed. The league just had its greatest year ever. In certain markets, Caitlin Clark's ratings quadrupled. From playing in front of 4,000 spectators, the Indiana Fever sold out arenas with 17,000 seats. Sales of merchandise surged. The league experienced unprecedented levels of national media coverage. After decades of ignoring the WNBA, sponsors suddenly wanted to get involved. Coverage was increased by broadcasters. Discussions about expansion accelerated. At last, the cultural moment came. Additionally, the players' union's response has been to seek a financial structure that, according to experts in the sports industry, would undo all of those accomplishments and cause the league to suffer irreversible losses. Here's where subtlety counts. It's not that the athletes don't merit greater compensation. They certainly do. For elite professional players, WNBA salaries have been pitifully low. In order to earn a living, several players have been compelled to play all year round abroad. For decades, owners made insufficient marketing investments. The league was not viewed as a growing company, but rather as a charitable endeavor. All of it is accurate, but demanding terms that ensure collapse is not the answer to decades of underinvestment. One breakthrough cannot end 30 years of stagnation. Season and a revenue-sharing scheme that disregards fundamental economic principles. As a starting point, the league's offer of 70% of net revenue makes reasonable. Net revenue indicates that players receive the bulk of what is left over after expenses are covered. Incentives are aligned by that arrangement. Player earnings increase as the league expands. Player income increases as expenses decline. In contrast, players are paid first under gross revenue sharing, regardless of the league's survival. Only when revenue is substantial and steady does that model function. The WNBA hasn't arrived yet. For this reason, the deadline's mechanics are crucial. The deadline has already been extended twice by both parties. Initially on November 30th, the initial CBA expired, and once more in late December. With no agreement in place and a midnight deadline of January 9th approaching, the calendar has now shifted to January 7th. In November, the WNBA Players Association held a referendum to authorize strikes. 93% of players took part. 98% of those who cast ballots gave the executive committee permission to declare a strike if needed. Posturing is not what that is. That is completely loaded leverage. Players cannot go on strike under the current CBA without ending the contract. However, after January 9th, negotiations enter what is known as a status quo phase, during which the union is free to organize a strike at any moment without further authorization, and the previous agreement is maintained. No caution, no further vote without a countdown clock to give everyone time to get ready. The possibility of a strike becomes immediate and unpredictable whenever the league enters a status quo phase, looming over the season like a cloud that never completely lifts. This implies that the risk does not go away even if the league is able to avert a formal lockout this week. Rather, it transforms into something possibly worse. A mid-season strike could happen at any time and abruptly interrupt the schedule. Every game, sponsorship activation, and broadcast negotiation would take place in an environment of perpetual uncertainty, which is detrimental to an expanding league. When sponsors are unable to ensure exposure, they do not spend millions of dollars. Promotion. Budgets are not created on a weekly basis, but rather months in advance. Programming schedules are not designed by broadcasters to accommodate leagues that may close in the middle of the season. Advertisers don't commit inventory to goods that can suddenly disappear. Furthermore, the exact audience that the league worked so hard to draw in 2024, casual fans, does not wait for labor problems to be resolved. They proceed to whatever closes the distance. Adam Silver's involvement becomes crucial at this point. He is not required to be present. Silver could just take a back seat and instruct ownership to handle the matter independently, even if the NBA has been supporting the WNBA for many years. He is actively participating in negotiations, which indicates that the NBA still believes that the league has genuine long-term promise that should be safeguarded. However, that dedication is not unqualified. If growth stagnates or volatility becomes the norm, the NBA's capacity to justify operational and financial support will eventually run out. No marketing campaign could ever put that patience to the test like a protracted labor conflict would. The momentum generated by Caitlin Clark's rookie season vanishes very immediately if the owners start a lockout or the players conduct a strike, delaying or canceling the 2025 season. Newcomers to the league who are casual viewers won't wait a year for a conclusion. Budgets will be shifted by sponsors to safer assets. Sports that can ensure consistency will take up more exposure as media focus shifts. The 2024 window does not remain open indefinitely. There are many leagues in sports history that saw a breakthrough but were unable to take advantage of it. Seldom does that chance come again in the same form after it has passed. This is the hard reality that makes things more difficult. The best players will survive even if the league fails or a season is lost. Tens of millions of dollars in sponsorship deals have been signed by Caitlin Clark. Beyond her playing contract, Angel Ree has established a variety of cash streams. Regardless of what happens next, the league's faces will remain financially comfortable. At the top of the league, the true cost would not be felt. Everyone else would quietly and unevenly take it, who are least protected financially in the event that something goes wrong. Stars with national prominence and endorsement portfolios are not the ones that suffer the most. They are the athletes who make the least amount of money, the athletes with minimal contracts from the league, the athletes who were banking on the salary hikes the league had previously proposed, who were frugal with their money, and who depended on each paycheck. If this agreement fails, those are the parties who stand to lose the most. Because of this, the main issue confronting the players' union at the moment is neither symbolic nor ideological. It is both realistic and inevitable. It is not about optics, but about results. Is requesting 30% of gross is the greatest chance this league has ever had to stabilize, develop, and create something enduring worth sacrificing for revenue? The choice is not being made in a vacuum. It is being created now, not during a later negotiation period, not following yet another growing season. The league has already put a plan on the table that will quadruple salaries and implement revenue sharing for the first time in WNBA history, with a deadline of less than 48 hours and irreversible implications once triggered. The commissioner of the NBA has personally intervened, indicating ongoing institutional backing. If a sustainable structure can be established, team owners are demonstrating a willingness to invest and grow. It is now up to the players to choose the kind of future they choose to create. One based on consistent, long-term growth that brings remuneration into line with financial realities, or one motivated by demands that appear strong in press releases but crumble under simple spreadsheet analysis. What follows is the answer to the question that everyone has been waiting for. Does the union agree to the league's offer and carry on negotiating little, gradual improvements that add up over time? Do they gamble that pressure alone will compel compromises when they enter a period of status quo and threaten to go on strike for the duration of the season? Or does Adam Silver back off and let owners keep players out until the league's demands recover to a level where it can thrive? The WNBA's breakthrough moment is going to become its breaking point.